My wife's affair was bad enough, but draining our savings and taking out a loan in my name, that's a whole new level of betrayal. Hey Reddit, so I'm Mark, 36, and I'm about to lose everything. My whole life I've been the good son, always trying to please everyone, especially my dad, who always seemed to favor my perfect cousin. It's like I could never measure up. Now my marriage is imploding and I'm starting to think my entire life has been a lie. I thought I had a stable life, a loving wife, Sarah. But turns out she's been seeing some guy named Jake. I found the texts, the receipts, the whispered phone calls. It's been going on for God knows how long. And my parents, they're telling me to be more understanding. More understanding. It's always David this and David that. They've always treated me like I'm not good enough. Now Sarah's treating me the same way. I feel like I'm drowning, but I'm not going down without a fight. I've got a plan. You guys won't believe what happened next. It was a Tuesday night. Sarah was at her book club, supposedly. I was making dinner, trying a new pasta recipe. Needed the iPad for the sauce, the one we shared. It was open to iMessage, and there it was. A message preview from Jake. My stomach dropped. I felt like I was going to be sick. I never check her messages, we have always trusted each other, but something told me to click. Can't wait to see you Friday. Tell Mark you're with Emily again, Friday. That's when I'm supposed to be in Chicago for work. Emily, my best friend, is a divorce lawyer, ironically. Sarah and I haven't been intimate in months. Months. She's always tired. Always stressed. Always working late. Now I know why. I scrolled up. Days, weeks, months of messages. Lovey-dovey crap talking about us, about our life. Pictures, oh God, the pictures. I felt a wave of nausea wash over me. I had to sit down. My hands were shaking. I felt like I couldn't breathe. Missing you like crazy. He'll never suspect a thing. He's so clueless. Clueless. She actually wrote that, about me, my wife. The woman I thought I knew. The woman I loved more than anything. I wanted to scream, to throw up, to break something. Instead, I just sat there, staring at the iPad, feeling like my whole world was collapsing around me. This wasn't just a fling. This was a relationship. A whole separate life she was living right under my nose. I called my mom. Needed someone, anyone, to talk to. Big mistake. Oh, Mark, she sighed like I was bothering her. Just try to be more understanding. Sarah works so hard, maybe she's just going through a phase. A phase? Are you kidding me? Like always, she just brushed me off. It's always been like this. I'm never the priority, never good enough. Just like Dad always said, why can't you be more like David? Even now, even in this moment, it's about David. I wanted to scream at her. But I just hung up. What was the point? I felt so alone, so betrayed, so stupid. How could I have been so blind? So after the iPad incident, I tried to play it cool. Like everything was normal. Tried to be understanding like my mom suggested. I even suggested a weekend getaway, try to rekindle things. Romantic dinner, maybe a hike, some quality time, just us. She just scoffed. Mark, I'm swamped at work. And I'm exhausted. Maybe next month. Next month. Right. Next month she'd probably be shacked up with Jake in some romantic cabin, laughing about how clueless I was. The next few days were a blur of anxiety and forced smiles. I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. Every time my phone buzzed, I jumped, thinking it was her, telling me it was all over. Then came Saturday. I was working in the home office trying to focus, but my mind was racing. Sarah was downstairs, supposedly cleaning. I heard her on the phone. Her voice was different, flirty, giggly, like the Sarah I used to know, the Sarah from before she started shutting me out. I crept down the stairs, trying not to make a sound. She was in the kitchen, phone pressed to her ear, leaning against the counter. He's upstairs, working. Bless his heart, he has no idea. My blood ran cold. No idea, she was talking about me to him, right there in my house. I cleared my throat. She jumped, startled, and quickly ended the call. Who was that? I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. Oh, just a friend from work, she said, a little too quickly, too brightly. A friend you giggle with like a schoolgirl. I couldn't help the bitterness in my voice. My hands were shaking. She rolled her eyes. Mark, seriously, you're being paranoid. Paranoid, that's the word she chose. Paranoid, like I was the crazy one. Paranoid, I saw the messages, Sarah, on the iPad from Jake. Her face paled, just for a second. Then she put on this mask of indifference. Oh, it's nothing, you're overreacting. Overreacting? This woman was having an affair and I was overreacting. My chest tightened, I could barely breathe. Nothing, you're calling months of secret messages and rendezvous, nothing. My voice cracked. I hated how weak I sounded. Look, she sighed like I was the one being difficult. It's just AA friendship, it's complicated. a friendship, complicated. I wanted to laugh, to scream, to punch something. Just then my mom walked in. Perfect timing as always. I thought maybe, just maybe, she'd see it, see what Sarah was doing to me, see how much pain I was in. What's going on here? She asked, looking at me, not Sarah, like I was the one causing the problem. Mark is being dramatic, Sarah said, her voice dripping with fake concern. He's upset about something he saw on my iPad. My mom looked at me, her eyes narrowed. Mark, honey, you know Sarah would never do anything to hurt you. You're just stressed. Why don't you go upstairs and lie down? Lie down, lie down. While my wife was having an affair and my mother was enabling her, that was the moment. The moment I realized this wasn't normal. This wasn't just a marital spat. This was toxic. My entire family was toxic. I just stared at them. My wife, who was lying to my face. My mother, who was gaslighting me. And me standing there like an idiot, feeling like I was losing my mind. I didn't say anything. I just turned and walked away. Went upstairs and locked myself in the bedroom. I sat on the edge of the bed, my head in my hands, and just sobbed. That's when I knew I needed to get out, needed to escape this madness. 2 weeks later, and things have gone from bad to worse. Way worse. It's like my family has formed some kind of twisted alliance against me. They're acting like I'm the one who's crazy, like I'm the one who destroyed our marriage. First, my dad called. He never called me just to chat ever. My heart sank before I even answered. Mark, he started, his voice heavy with disappointment. Your mother told me about the situation with Sarah. Here we go, I thought. Son, he continued, marriage takes work. Compromise, understanding, you need to be more supportive of Sarah, she's a good woman. Supportive? She's draining our joint bank account and he wants me to be supportive, I saw red. Supportive? Dad, she's having an affair, she's stealing from me, I yelled. I couldn't keep the anger out of my voice anymore. He sighed. That same condescending sigh. Mark, don't be dramatic. These things happen, just try to work it out, for the sake of the family. For the sake of the family, that's their favorite line. Like I'm some kind of problem that needs to be fixed. Like my pain doesn't matter. Then the real kicker. My Aunt Carol, David's mom, called. Aunt Carol, who has never, ever called me before unless it was to wish me a happy birthday. Mark, honey, she began, her voice dripping with fake sympathy. I'm so sorry about everything. Sarah is such a sweet girl, I just can't understand why you'd be so difficult. Difficult? Are you kidding me? This is coming from the woman whose son is the golden child, the one I've been compared to my entire life. Now they're all ganging up on me, protecting Sarah, the woman who's robbing me blind. Difficult, I repeated, my voice shaking with rage. She's stealing our money, Aunt Carol. She's leaving me for another man. Oh, honey, she said, her voice condescending. I'm sure it's not that bad, just try to be more understanding. Women need attention. Maybe you haven't been giving her enough. Attention? I'm the one who needs attention. I'm being robbed and emotionally abused and they're worried about Sarah. I hung up on her. I just couldn't take it anymore. This isn't just about Sarah anymore. This is about my whole family. They've always treated me like I'm not good enough. And now they're proving it. They're siding with the woman who's destroying my life. They're gaslighting me, making me feel like I'm the crazy one. I can't sleep. I can't eat. I can barely function. I'm a walking zombie. I keep replaying the conversations in my head over and over again. Their words are like daggers, twisting in my gut. I'm starting to realize I'm completely alone in this. My own family has turned against me. And you know what? It's making me stronger. I'm not going to let them win. I'm not going to let them break me. I'm going to fight back. I'm going to expose Sarah for who she really is. And I'm going to show my family that I'm not the weak, pathetic loser they think I am. This is war. I was a mess. Couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. My mind was a constant replay of Sarah's lies, my mom's dismissiveness, my dad's disappointment. I felt like I was going insane. I needed anyone to tell me I wasn't crazy, so I called Emily. Can I come over? I need to talk. My voice was shaky, even to my own ears. Mark, what's wrong? You sound awful. I hesitated. How do you even begin to explain this to someone? It's Sarah and my family. It's a lot. An hour later, I was sitting on Emily's couch, clutching a mug of lukewarm tea. I spilled out the whole story, the texts, the receipts, the gaslighting, the family betrayal. I stumbled over words, started crying, had to stop a few times to just breathe. It was ugly. It was raw. It was the truth. Emily just listened. No interruptions, no judgment, just listening. And when I was finally done, she just stared at me, her mouth slightly open. Holy shit, Mark, she finally said, her voice hushed. I had no idea. This is insane. That's all I needed, that validation. That acknowledgement that I wasn't imagining things, that I wasn't overreacting, that what was happening to me was wrong. They're all telling me I'm being difficult, I choked out. That I need to be more understanding, more supportive. Can you believe that? Emily slammed her mug down on the coffee table. Understanding, supportive, Mark, they're gaslighting you. They're trying to make you question your own sanity. This is not normal. This is abuse, plain and simple. Abuse. That word hit me like a ton of bricks. I'd never thought of it that way, but she was right. They've always treated me like I'm not good enough, I whispered, the familiar sting of inadequacy resurfacing. Like I'm less than David. Emily reached out and grabbed my hand. Mark, listen to me. You are not less than anyone. You are a good person. You deserve to be treated with respect. You deserve to be happy, and you do not deserve this. Her words were like a lifeline. Someone finally saw me, finally heard me, finally validated my pain. What do I do, Em? I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. I felt lost, broken. First, she said, her voice firm, we document everything. The texts, the receipts, the bank statements. We build a case. Then you talk to a lawyer, a good one, and you fight back. Fight back. Those words resonated with me. For my entire life, I'd been shrinking myself, trying to fit into a mold that wasn't meant for me, trying to please people who would never be pleased. But not anymore. This was my wake-up call. I'm scared, Em, I admitted. I know you are, she said, squeezing my hand. But you're not alone, I'm here, and we're going to get through this together. That night, something shifted inside me. The fear was still there, but it was overshadowed by something else. Anger, determination, a newfound sense of self-worth. I was done being the victim. I was done being silent. I was ready to fight for myself, for my future. For my life, I was numb, going through the motions. Emily had been a lifesaver. She helped me see I wasn't crazy. That's Sarah's behavior, my family's conspiracy, it wasn't normal. She helped me find a lawyer, start documenting everything. But a part of me still clung to the hope that maybe, just maybe, things could be salvaged. That hope died a slow, agonizing death. It started with little things. Sarah accidentally leaving her phone unlocked. A whispered phone call on the back porch. A hastily deleted text message I glimpsed over her shoulder. Each incident chipped away at what little faith I had left. Then came the credit card statement. $500 at a fancy restaurant. $200 at a spa. A weekend getaway to a Napa Valley resort. While I was slaving away at work, she was living the high life with Jake. Using MY money. My stomach churned. The nausea returned. I confronted her, again. Sarah, I said, my voice trembling, what the hell is this? She barely looked up from her phone. What's what? She feigned innocence, but there was a flicker of fear in her eyes. I shoved the statement in her face. These charges, where were you last weekend? Oh, that, she said dismissively, waving her hand. It was a girls' trip with Emily. Emily. Always Emily, my best friend who she knew I trusted implicitly. She was using Emily as her alibi, the audacity. It took everything in me not to scream. Emily, really? Because I just talked to Emily and she said she hasn't seen you in weeks. Sarah's eyes widened. She knew she'd been caught. Look, she said, her voice rising, it's complicated. Can we just talk about this later? Later. Always later. She was always putting me off, deflecting, avoiding. I was done with later. No, we're talking about this now, I said, my voice rising to match hers. Where's all of our money going, Sarah? What the hell is going on? She finally looked at me, her eyes cold, hard. It's none of your business, she spat. It's my money too. My money too. Those words echoed in my ears. The woman I loved, the woman I'd built a life with, was stealing from me, lying to me, betraying me in the most fundamental way. But the real gut punch, the final straw, came a few days later. I was checking our online banking, something I rarely did. We'd always trusted each other with finances. Stupid, I know. Another thing I'd been clueless about. Our savings account, the one we'd been diligently building for years, for a down payment on a house, for our future, it was almost empty. Gone, vanished, over $50,000, just gone. I felt a cold dread creep up my spine. My heart pounded in my chest. I clicked on the transaction history, my hands shaking so badly I could barely operate the mouse. Transfer after transfer. Large sums of money, moved to an account I didn't recognize. Then the final blow. A notification from our credit monitoring service. A new loan application in MY name. For $20,000, a business loan. A loan I never applied for. I saw red. This wasn't just an affair. This was grand larceny. This was fraud. She wasn't just breaking my heart, she was systematically dismantling my life. Stealing my future. Everything inside me snapped. The years of suppressed anger, the constant need to please, the fear of not being good enough, it all exploded. I felt a surge of adrenaline, a primal rage I'd never experienced before. I was done. Done, I called Emily. My voice was shaking, but this time it wasn't with sadness or fear, it was with cold, hard fury. I said, my voice low and dangerous. She took the money, all of it, and she took out a loan in my name. I'm done. We're doing this, we're taking her down. Something changed in that moment. The victim became a warrior. The doormat became a goddamn vengeance machine. I was no longer afraid. I was fueled by pure, unadulterated rage. And I knew exactly what I needed to do next. I needed to destroy her. Metaphorically, of course, but I needed to expose her. To make her pay for what she'd done. Not just to me, but to everyone who'd ever underestimated me. This wasn't just about saving myself anymore. This was about reclaiming my life, and I was ready for war. All right, Reddit, buckle up. This is where shit gets real. After that financial gut punch, I knew I couldn't just roll over. I was done being Mr. Nice Guy. Emily, bless her soul, went into full-on warrior mode. She's a divorce lawyer, remember? This is her bread and butter. She was like a goddamn avenging angel, wings of legal documents and a fiery sword of righteous fury. First, we locked down everything. Changed all my passwords, froze our joint accounts, what was left of them anyway, put a fraud alert on my credit report. Damage control, people, crucial first step. Then, the evidence gathering began. Emily helped me organize everything. We printed out the text messages, the credit card statements, the bank records. We even got a forensic accountant involved to trace the missing money. No stone unturned. We were building a case so airtight you could launch it into space. Next, we went nuclear. Emily contacted a private investigator. Turns out, Jake wasn't just some random guy. He was a client of Sarah's, a married client, with kids. Oh, this just kept getting better and better. The pie got photos of them together, dates, times, locations, boom, irrefutable proof, but I wasn't done. I wanted to catch her in the act. So with Emily's guidance, she's a genius, I swear, I set up a hidden camera in our living room. High-def motion activated the works. Big Brother is watching, Sarah. I also canceled my business trip to Chicago. Told my boss I had a family emergency. He was surprisingly understanding, probably thought my grandma died or something. Little did he know my grandma's name was Karma and she was about to pay Sarah a visit. The plan was simple. Sarah thought I was leaving Thursday night. She'd probably have Jake over thinking the coast was clear. I'd come back Friday morning, catch them in flagrante delicto, and boom, confrontation time. Emily advised me to stay calm, stick to the facts, and not let Sarah manipulate me. She's going to try to turn this around on you, Mark, she warned. Be prepared, don't let her gaslight you, you have the truth on your side. And I did. I had the texts, the photos, the bank records, the hidden camera footage. I had an army of evidence. I was ready. Mentally, I was a wreck. I was terrified, anxious, and still heartbroken. But I was also angry. Really, really angry. And that anger, that righteous fury, was what kept me going. It was my fuel, my armor. I knew this confrontation would be brutal. I knew it would probably destroy my relationship with my parents, who, let's be honest, would probably side with Sarah. But I didn't care anymore. I was done caring what they thought. I was done letting them dictate my life. This was my life. And I was finally taking control. I spent the night before the confrontation rehearsing what I was going to say. I visualized the scenario over and over again. I practiced staying calm, staying focused, staying strong. I knew Sarah would try to manipulate me, try to make me feel guilty, try to turn the tables. But I was ready. I was prepared. I was a goddamn samurai, and my katana was forged from the steel of betrayal and sharpened on the whetstone of rage. Bring it on, Sarah, bring it on. Okay, Reddit, here's how it all went down. Friday morning, 8:00 a.m. I arrived back home, key in the door, acting surprised to find Sarah and Jake in my living room. Sarah was wearing my favorite robe. Jake was wearing, well, nothing from the waist up. Coffee was brewing. The remnants of a romantic breakfast were scattered on the table. It was like a scene from a bad soap opera. Mark, Sarah shrieked, jumping up, her face a mask of pure panic. Jake just stared at me, dumbfounded, a half-eaten piece of toast dangling from his hand. The look on their faces, priceless. Surprise, I said, my voice flat, emotionless. Inside, my heart was pounding, but I maintained my composure. This was my moment. I wasn't going to let them see me sweat. What are you doing here? Sarah stammered, clutching the robe tighter around her. I thought you were in Chicago. I replied, my eyes fixed on Jake, who was still shirtless and speechless. But I decided to come back early. Family emergency, you know. Sarah's eyes darted around the room, searching for an escape route. We can explain, she stammered. Oh, I'm sure you can, I said, my voice dripping with sarcasm. But I think I have all the explanation I need. I gestured towards the hidden camera, now blinking conspicuously in the corner of the room. Say hello to my little friend. Sarah's face turned ashen. Jake finally found his voice. Dude, what the hell is this? He sputtered, grabbing his shirt from the back of the couch. This, I said, my voice rising, is called Catching You Red-Handed. I pulled out my phone and held it up, displaying the photos the pie had taken. And this, I continued, scrolling through the pictures, is called evidence. Sarah started to cry, the crocodile tears flowing freely. Mark, please, she sobbed, it's not what it looks like. Oh, really? I countered, my voice laced with disgust. Because it looks to me like you've been screwing my wife in my house, eating my food and spending my money. I then pulled out the bank statements, the loan application, the whole damn dossier. And this, I said, slapping the papers down on the table, is called grand larceny. Jake, now fully dressed, backed away slowly. Look, man, I didn't know, he started. Didn't know what? I roared. That she was married. That she was stealing from me. He mumbled something unintelligible and made a beeline for the door. Sarah, call me, he said over his shoulder before disappearing out the door. Coward, Sarah was a blubbering mess. Mark, I'm so sorry, she wailed. I never meant to hurt you, it just happened. Happened, I scoffed. Draining our savings account just happened. Taking out a loan in my name just happened. I was going to pay you back, she cried. It was for the business. Me and Jake, we were going to start a new life together, I finished her sentence. With MY money, she had no response. The fight had gone out of her, she knew she was beaten. The power dynamic had shifted. I was no longer the clueless, pathetic husband. I was the one in control. It's over, Sarah, I said, my voice calm, steady. I'm filing for divorce. Those words, spoken with such finality, seemed to break her. She collapsed onto the couch, sobbing uncontrollably. I felt a flicker of something. Pity, satisfaction, I couldn't quite place it, but it was quickly replaced by a sense of relief. I was finally free. I turned and walked out of the living room, leaving Sarah in her wreckage of lies and betrayal. I went upstairs, packed a bag, and left. I didn't look back, I was done. This chapter of my life was closed, and I was finally ready to start writing a new one. One where I was the hero of my own story. One where I was finally good enough, for myself. More to come, Reddit. Stay tuned. So Reddit, it's been 6 months since the Great Sarah-apocalypse, and I wanted to give you guys an update. Things are complicated. Definitely a mixed bag. But overall, I'm alive. And that's more than I could say for sure 6 months ago. The immediate aftermath was brutal. The divorce was messy, expensive, and emotionally draining. Sarah tried to play the victim, blaming me for everything. My parents, shockingly, initially bought it. They accused me of being cold and unforgiving. It felt like a second betrayal, a punch in the gut when I was already down. I went low contact with them both, and with a few mutual friends who seemed to think Sarah was some kind of misunderstood heroine. It hurt, but I knew I needed to protect myself. I had to prioritize my healing. Eventually, though, the truth started to trickle out. Jake's wife found out about the affair. Karma's a bitch, right? And things got ugly. Turns out, Sarah had been lying to both of us. She'd promised Jake she was leaving me, and me that she was ending things with him. The whole thing blew up in her face spectacularly. My parents finally started to see the light, and I got a very awkward, semi-apology from my mom. It wasn't perfect, but it was a start. We're slowly rebuilding our relationship, but there's still a lot of work to do. The legal stuff is finally over. I didn't get all my money back, but enough to make a fresh start. I sold the house, too many memories, too much pain, and bought a smaller place closer to the city. It's mine. No ghosts of Sarah and Jake haunting the hallways. Just me and my cat Steve. He's been a surprisingly good therapist. I've been focusing on rebuilding my life. Therapy has been huge. I'm learning to set boundaries, to prioritize my own needs, to recognize red flags a mile away. I've also reconnected with old friends, the ones who actually supported me through the shitstorm. We've been hiking, going to concerts, just having fun. It's amazing how much your perspective changes when you're surrounded by people who genuinely care about you. I've even started dating again. Terrifying, but also exciting. I'm taking things slow, being cautious, but I'm open to the possibility of finding someone who actually sees me, values me, and doesn't steal my life savings. Baby SDEPS people, the biggest change, I'm not afraid anymore. I'm not afraid of being alone. I'm not afraid of what people think. I'm not afraid of speaking my truth. I finally realized that I am good enough. I don't need anyone's validation, not even my parents. I'm my own person and I'm finally living my life for me. This whole experience has been a roller coaster. It's been painful, confusing, and at times utterly devastating. But it's also been liberating. I've learned so much about myself, about my family, about the world. I've learned that sometimes, the people you think you can rely on the most are the ones who let you down the hardest. But I've also learned that true strength comes from within. It comes from facing your demons, picking yourself up, and moving forward one step at a time. So, Reddit, what about you? Any similar experiences? Any advice for someone navigating the treacherous waters of post-divorce life? Let me know. I could use the support. And maybe, just maybe, my story can help someone else get through their own shitstorm.